What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Behind me today, I'm at CS Motorsport and I have two N54 bottom mount turbo kits. Today we wanted to talk a little bit about these two kits, how they're made, and exactly how much horsepower they're built for. It's going to be interesting. Sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and enjoy the video. Alright, so today I've got John here over at CS Motorsport. John owns CS Motorsport, and we're going to talk a little bit about these bottom mount turbo kits. First, I want to discuss the 850 horsepower turbo kit. This is rated for 850 horsepower, correct?
That's correct. This is our Gen 2 Garrett kit. It features the Gen 2 3582R, the GTX Garrett turbo that is rated at 850 horsepower, which is why we call it the 850 HP kit. And this is our most popular kit by far. It's kind of what we started with when we switched to the Garrett turbos. So a little bit of background about these turbo systems. This all started 3 or 4 years ago, and actually even further back before then, when we started doing billet manifold designs for the BMWs. We had teamed up with Lean over at Steed Speed Performance in Canada, who is a diesel manifold manufacturer for big diesel trucks. When we were doing our E36 turbo kits, the 95 to 99 M3s, we had talked to Lean and got introduced to them by one of our good friends, Colby. Had mentioned that they have a really nice design for a turbo manifold that might work out wonderful for the BMW kits. So we actually called Lean up, started talking, and I'll go back even a little bit further. Horsepower Freaks was a company that was making turbo kits for the E46 M3s way back in the day. I don't know if a lot of you guys remember HPF. They had teamed up with Steed Speed. Steed Speed was making their turbo manifolds for their Horsepower Freaks kits. We basically talked to Steed Speed, got the design, redid the manifold flange, and turned it into a CES kit for the E36s. And that's how it all began. A few years later, we revisited the design, since the original Horsepower Freaks manifold was very bulky and it was an open manifold design. It was not a twin scroll design, which twin scroll means you divide the actual halves of the banks. So you have bank 1, 1, 2, 3, bank 2, 4, 5, 6. You split the pulses. The twin scroll effect actually helps spool larger turbos like this, and we wanted to go that route to really improve the efficiency of the big turbos that we wanted to use. So fast forward to now. After the E36 manifolds, the billet twin scrolls that we did, we wanted to branch out and we began working on the 335 N54 kits, and this was the result. The original N54 design was a different one than this. We had actually worked with Borg Warner to utilize their EFR internally wastegated turbos, and unfortunately that didn't work out as planned, because the internal wastegate design was too small and we were boosting to the moon. So it was not a kit that we wanted to sell to the public. It was very big and bulky. The footprint of the EFR turbo is pretty big, if anybody's used one before. Right around that time is when Garrett came out with their Gen 2 design, which was basically the normal 35R turbo size, but it had the bigger wheels. This is the result. It was a few years in the making to get this design done. A lot of collaboration with Steed Speed, going back and forth to get the final design. As you guys can see, we do have a single wastegate and a single bypass as part of this kit to make it very streamlined. A lot less moving parts, a lot less components to buy, a lot less piping. We tried to make the kit as efficient as we could. One of the reasons why we chose bottom mount is because of efficiency. Again, our motto has always been to try and be efficient with our kits, because that's what really makes power. Keeping the turbo down below, out of the engine bay, helps with keeping the heat out of the engine bay, and also produces just a much more overall efficient kit, pull after pull, on the street or on the track or whatever you're using the kit for. This manifold design fit nicely with that, because it's also very compact, very streamlined, but it's also CNC billet steel. It has a tubular design on the inside, but it is literally bulletproof. This thing is very durable. It's designed to work on diesel trucks, so it can handle hundreds of pounds of boost. It is ceramic coated as well, so it helps keep the temps down, and it was a perfect fit for the way we designed this kit. One of the cool features that we just tested recently with the Gen 2 kit, we've been getting a lot of requests about people wanting to know if it will fit all-wheel drive cars, so we finally fit an all-wheel drive oil pan and test fit the kit, and guess what, guys? She fits. So now we're all open to all-wheel drive xDrive cars plus the normal 335s and 135 rear-wheel drive cars.
So you have two options here. You have one that is rated at 850 horsepower, and then you have one that is rated at 1150 horsepower. Which one do you sell the most of?
Okay, so this is the most popular one. The Gen 2 Garrett, why we love the Garrett turbos, is because they offer both oil cooling and water cooling features for their turbos. As you can see here, you've got your coolant lines, which we integrate in this kit, and it makes it more like the OEM system. The twin turbo setups on the 335s have both oil and coolant running through their smaller twins, and we wanted to integrate that into this kit, which is why we chose the Garrett turbos. Number one, for their compact size and the power output that they were making, but also because it's more OEM and fit and finish, and also allows for both coolant and oil cooling to run through the cartridge of the turbo, keeping it cooler, adds to longevity and efficiency once again. This kit is our latest and greatest kit. So this kit is actually a Precision Turbo 6875. It is the 1150 horsepower turbo that Precision offers. It is the Gen 2 CEA dual ball bearing turbo. Most powerful kit that we have put together to date. We had a customer request for this, so this is why it now exists. This is the first one that we've done, and it will actually be getting our upgraded V-band compressor outlet. So if you've noticed on the Gen 2 Garrett kit, the Gen 2 Garrett turbos do not come with a V-band on the compressor outlet. It is a design for a coupler, at least this size does not come with that. So we have actually integrated that using Garrett components so that you can have a much more robust connection there. The silicone coupler in this area, since it sits close to the manifold, can have some issues with heat depending on how hard the car is driven. We learned the hard way with setting one of these kits up on the track, and that resulted in us designing the V-band setup for the compressor, which eliminates that as a weak point of the kit, which was about the only weak point that we did have. The Precisions actually sit just a tad further forward, gives it slightly more clearance, so it's not as much an issue, but we're still going to be offering a V-band upgrade for the compressor housing on this as well. So it will increase the durability without having a silicone coupler that could be a failure point.
So if anyone is interested in buying one of these kits, what is the preferred method of doing that? Do they bring their car to you? Do you ship them to them? How does that work?
So we offer a couple different options. Obviously, we have a full build program in-house that we offer to the customers. If somebody reaches out to us and wants a specific build, we can put a custom build together for them. We offer both Garrett and Precision turbo kits. We can pretty much do whatever a customer wants. We do have some that are pre-designed, that are ready to go, that can be purchased off our website. We do package them up, we ship them to the customer. If the customer wants to bring the car here, we offer an install package also, where we do everything in-house, do the installation, and then we also offer turnkey service with our dyno facility, where we can actually put the car on the dyno. We're one of the only companies that actually offers our own custom tunes that are designed specifically for our kits. We've got hundreds of hours of testing on our own shop cars and on customer cars that have been on the dyno. We use the MHD platform for the custom tunes for these particular turbo kits. You can purchase one of the tunes and literally get running right out of the box, which is one of the perks with going with one of our kits, because you already have the tuning sorted and can literally get to driving and enjoying the car. So we basically do both. You know, if a customer wants a turnkey build, one of them is actually here right now at the shop. The red one on the lift is getting this kit. We left it on the display unit because we wanted to do the video with you, but this will actually be removed and then installed on the customer car, and that one's going to be a full build too. Should be right around 700 wheel horsepower goal for him. So this is one of our workhorse shop cars. This is the one that has posted up a lot of the data that we've put up on our Instagram page, and stuff that people have seen online that we talk about when we discuss the spool up of the kit and what power it makes. The really impressive thing about this kit is we were trying to be as minimal as possible and see just how much power we could still make. So this particular one has a single low pressure fuel pump upgrade. It does have the EOSpeed manifold. We do a lot of work with Mike. We love his design. The fit and finish of these intake manifolds is absolutely amazing. It has wonderful PI rail for 750cc injectors, which is what we're running on this car. This was a full E85 tuned car. It actually has our full kit, which is another thing that we do offer. We have our hot side kit only, which is what was bolted to the motors, and we also offer our full 850 race intercooler upgrade, plus our full 3-inch piping, 3-inch charge piping with the towel blow-off valve. We do offer color packages too, so this one has the red highlight package, but we also offer the blue, the purple, and the black as additional options to kind of suit your specific needs for your build on your car. That's one of the things that we also offer as a customizable feature that a lot of other companies don't. The intercooler is actually a Bell intercooler core, so it is definitely not on the cheap side of things. You do get what you pay for when you purchase this stuff, but it really flows well, and we have a custom in-tank design that we do to optimize the flow to keep it as laminar as possible when it flows through to give you, optimal performance.
So this is the 850.
Yes, so this is
horsepower
another Gen 2 Garrett kit, the 850 HP kit. And this one also features the black coated piping, which is another option. We can do some custom intercooler piping options. And this one on the dyno, when we turned her all the way up with a single low pressure fuel pump, we were at 708 at the wheels.
Wow.
So this one is definitely doing great. Another thing that we probably should mention is a lot of these kits, these cars being direct injected, fueling is key. So the more fueling you have, the more opportunity to make more power. We've actually run this exact kit on our first prototype that we ever did up to 770 wheel horsepower on, these are stock motor N54 internals. You don't really want to push them much more than that because obviously stock motor, you're probably on borrowed time if you continue. But that was roughly at around 30 pounds of boost or so, getting that kind of power. These kits can be pushed all the way up to 35 PSI. 800 wheel horsepower is not out of the question. So when we say that's an 850 horsepower kit, it probably will do 800 to the wheels for you, which is well over 900 motor. So this one is actually an IS, the 335 IS. And I don't know if most people know this, but the IS version was the only 335 and 54 motor car that came with the DCT transmission. So this one's a little special for us because we are able to put our kit on the car and also have the capability of the DCT trans. So what we want to do is push this car to the limits on the stock motor. This one currently has a stock motor in it, and we ended up doing the larger Garrett kit, which is the GT 3584 RS kit, which is a 1,000 horsepower turbo that Garrett offers. This one is a little bit more custom. It features our 3.5-inch downpipe setup, and we've made it to a VRSF 3.5-inch exhaust system and customized it to fit exactly the way we want it to. So the kit is kind of a combination of the VRSF 3.5-inch exhaust plus our custom 3.5-inch downpipe kit for this particular build. This one is definitely going to make a little bit more power. This is the one that we should be taking out of the track and seeing if we can make some really good numbers out of it.
So if someone wanted to buy that 1150 kit with this turbo, that's something that you guys can offer as well?
Oh yeah, I mean the turbo that is on this car is another kit that we can build. It's basically just the upgraded version of the 850 HP kit with the Garrett turbo, and that one already comes with the V-band and compressor outlet, so it's not something that we have to add on as an additional upgrade. When you purchase the 1,000 horsepower Garrett kit, it comes with it.
And then this red one over here, what's the story with that?
So this is a customer car. This is a full build that we're doing in-house, like we were talking about that we do. This one is going to actually get the kit that was on the engine stand over there. It will be the 850 HP kit. He also wanted to do the VRSF 3.5-inch exhaust system on there, so that's installed on the car. And then we will be getting to installing this kit next week for him. He's getting the full package, our full kit with the intercooler upgrade, charge pipe, plus the EOSpeed intake manifold with the port injection. And we're basically kind of going to copycat what we've done on this build over here, where we're going to shoot for a full E85 build and 700 wheel for him. All right, so this is where all the magic happens. Obviously, what separates our kit from all the other kits out there, like we had discussed before, is we offer billet twin scroll manifold designed. The bottom mount kits, so these obviously mount the turbo, the bottom of the car, not on the top, for increased efficiency. These are collaboration between us and Steed Speed, and we teamed up with him to be able to offer these style manifolds for the BMWs. I think we came upon a really good design. It took us a long time to get here. People don't realize what it takes to actually get a final product like this. I mean, this was years in development. This did not happen overnight. We actually tried and failed the first time when we did this kit because we were trying something different, trying to be innovative. But this is the ultimate design revision that we finished with. It took 4 revisions to get there. There's actually one last revision on these, and it includes a flange so that we can now offer N55 kits as well as the N54 kits. So it has both the ports available to be able to bolt up to both motors. So that will be next in the works. But this design is basically what spools the turbo really, really fast. Also has a full divided design. So the first banks are divided from the second banks, and the twin scroll effect comes into full play, which instead of the exhaust gas pulses interfering with one another and causing turbulence, they actually allows them to be separated throughout the manifold and throughout the entire turbo to increase the efficiency of the charge as it shoots through the exhaust housing of the turbo, which increases spool up time. One of our goals and one of the biggest things that we wanted to accomplish was to spool large turbos like this as fast or almost as fast as upgraded twins, and I think we've been able to accomplish that, which makes this kit a very responsive kit. And one of the reasons why we ended up doing a design like this, because this is really a critical component of why our kit stands out from the rest. When you get into a single turbo kit made by us, the response is just phenomenal, even with the 850 HP kit or the 1000 HP kit, so that you still get that same kind of drivability and responsiveness of twin setup, but with the big single that can float tons more air up top and is a much more efficient setup. Another cool feature about our design is that these are actually divided wastegate ports also. So when you connect the TurboSmart wastegate, which is what we like using with these kits, the divider actually divides the gas pulses all the way to the wastegate. And the wastegate, it helps regulate the boost pressure on the turbo and opens up once you reach a specific PSI, and then the exhaust gases are bypassed around the turbo manifold to keep it from shooting to the moon. We do a recirculated system which keeps it nice and efficient and much more OEM-like, so it's not dumping to atmosphere and making a lot of crazy noise. Some people like that. We do offer an open dump option for those that do. The majority like the recirculated so they can actually hear the exhaust and hear the turbo noises, etc., etc. But that is another specific feature that makes this manifold very efficient, because the twin scroll effect is carried through the entire design.
Do you happen to have any power numbers or graphs that we can look at from previous dyno sessions to kind of talk about the numbers?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part.
All right, let's check it out.
So this is the original prototype dyno graph, I guess you could say, from the very first kit that we put together on one of our shop cars. This is the one that we pushed the most, like we were talking about before, where we made 770 at the wheels and 725 torque at roughly about 30 psi. What's impressive about this is on a stock motor N54 with at least 100,000 miles on it. This was our first attempt at getting the kit on the car, and this is the ultimate power numbers that we made with it. Since then, we changed a few things. One of the biggest differences was the exhaust housing. We upgraded that to a slightly newer design. It is the divided twin scroll housing that we use on the Garrett Gen 2 turbos. And the car that we were showing you over there, the space gray car, we have some dyno data from that as well. And one thing to note is this one was a full build, full kit. It had our dual low pressure fuel pump upgrade setup on it. So it had dual 450s, the Walbro pumps, and it also had the EO Speed manifold with port injection. This was the E85 tune, and this is what we were able to achieve with those options added to the car. No other fueling modifications, etc., etc., no upgraded lines, no nothing. It was just the dual low pressure fuel pumps plus our full kit and the EO Speed with PI. This next graph that we're going to pop up is actually the newer version that we've done with the upgraded exhaust housing. This one is on a single low pressure fuel pump, and again the exact same setup, E85 tune, our full kit, the Gen 2 Garrett kit, evolution of speed intake manifold with the 750cc injectors. The one big thing that I wanted to point out is that this kit actually increased its spool tremendously. There's a 100 wheel torque gain at 3,500 RPMs, and you can see how the kit is actually spooling literally right at 3,500 RPMs for a big 850 horsepower turbo versus what we were doing with our older prototype kit. So we've able to increase the actual spool and responsiveness of the kit, and we still were able to make 708 at the wheels and 706 torque roughly at the same boost levels. This was a slightly less aggressive map, but it was due to the fact that we're only running the single low pressure fuel pump. And as everybody knows, on the direct injected cars, fueling is everything. The more fuel you got, the more ability you have extra rail pressure and make more power. So we actually taper off the power a little bit up top with the single pump. But the goal was to show just how easy it is to make this kind of power with our turbo kit. Running one single pump plus our kit on an E85 tune got you these numbers with some port injection. To us, it was something that we really wanted to show off and to let customers know that if you really want the responsiveness of a twin setup in a single, I think we've gotten as close as possible to it as anybody has. So the last one that we're going to pull up is the same kit. Obviously this is a much less boost. This is only 20 PSI. And what we also wanted to show is that this is kind of a generic map 3 JB4. We're using JB4 to control boost on that graph. What we wanted to show also is that the spool up on this turbo kit with this boost level is at 3,100 RPM. So where the boost actually curves and starts to turn over onto the graph is kind of where we designate kind of how quickly a turbo can spool before it reaches its kind of peak power. This is a good indicator to show you just how quickly our kit can spool. This is again on our E85 tune. So if you're running the E85 tune and you run even lower boost levels like this, you're still, 570s at the wheels, 500 torque on a generic map that we haven't even touched to increase any spool, power, torque, or anything. This is just, if you throw a JB4 on the car, you throw our kit on the car, you throw a low pressure fuel pump on the car, and you run E85 PI, you'll get similar results, and that's just baseline numbers basically.
What do you say we go for a ride in one of them?
Sure, yeah, let's take a spin.
All right, so we're inside the 335 IS, so it does have the DCT trans. And so this one has the 1,000 horsepower kit. We're gonna go for a little drive. I personally don't think I've ever been in a car that has close to that, so it should be interesting.
Should be pretty fun.
Dude, it's so loud. Oh my gosh. That turbo sounds amazing though. Dude, holy crap. It's so fast.
Just burning the tires.
Yeah, I can smell the tires. That's all I smell.
Do one more in manual mode so you can kind of feel what it's like just going through the gears.
Yeah.
I'll just row through them. So we're in second right now. Park throttle.
Oh my god, dude. It's so, have you taken this to the track?
No, this is what's going to be going soon, so we're excited to test it.
I'm really curious to see.
Wow. Here, we'll go another little quick blast here.
That's insane. That's insane. It sounds so good. Oh my god. Wow, that is crazy. Dude, this car rips. Well, if you have an N54 and you are looking for a bottom mount kit, I think you know where to come. All right, guys, so that concludes today's video on the N54 kits that they make here at CES. John, thank you again for having me here and explaining all that to me and showing off these beautiful kits. I think the car, like, it speaks for itself. It's so fast. It's crazy, crazy fast. I can't imagine actually getting this thing on a track when it hooks. And you had talked a little bit about some things that you have ready for this car to make sure that it can handle that power on the track.
Oh yeah, so I do have to give a big shout out to the Seems Legit Garage guys. We are running their Ford 8.8 diff conversion in this car to handle all the power, which includes the drive shaft, the upgraded G-force axles, their conversion for the complete kit, so we can actually put all this power to the ground safely. And another shout out to the XHP guys. Thank you so much for getting the DCT transmission software available for the 335IS. We are running that in the car also to help dial it in so that we can really make some good numbers at the track.
Awesome. John, if anyone wants to buy this kit, where can they do that?
So we do have it listed on our website. We're still a work in progress because we just updated it recently, so you know, bear with us. You can always call us or shoot us an email, and I can put together a custom quote based on your preferences and your budget and what size turbo or what size horsepower. We do offer a variety of different sizes. We have a few listed on the site. We do have a bunch of options on there also, so you can kind of like click to your liking. If you have any questions, just shoot us an email. We'll get you taken care of.
And I'm going to put all of John's information, all of CES's information down below. You guys hit them up if you need any of that done, as well as tuning, performance, dyno, any of that. They can handle you. They're out here in Monroe, Charlotte, North Carolina. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Please do subscribe, comment down below, like this video, and hit that bell notification. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Thanks.